Good morning. So here's a second video for the last couple of questions that I think were in our parking lot from yesterday. And the first one was how to make a highlight. And I'm sorry, I must have been really tired. It's actually super easy. So I'm in my course in Moodle. I turn my editing on, and I have to turn my editing on, not just look at the button. And then next to any topic, you see here's my name, online resources, you hit the light bulb, highlight, and it turns it blue. You can only have one section highlighted at a time, so I tend to keep it on my online resources. Remember, this is our backbone. Here's our general stuff. And by the way, we can edit that section to give it a title. General course information, right? And so I usually don't highlight my general course information, but you sure could. I tend to highlight that online resources one, but if I wanted to highlight this week, I would just go to here and you see it moves it. So you can only have one box highlighted at a time, but and then if I say, oh, that's not important, I don't want any highlighted, you can remove them all. But here's how you would highlight those online resources. We talked a little bit about, so one of the benefits, I won't show you in this course because it's not set up. I'm going to go to one of my actual courses. So one of the benefits to putting in assignments in Moodle, I guess I didn't do it for this one, I'm sorry. Where is one of them? Well, when you have assignments that you've set here, so you see, these are deadlines that I have put in. Remember, I told you I don't like to put in lots of deadlines, or if I put them in, okay, let me start over. I put in deadlines, but I don't close it and lock it down because a lot of people miss them. I did suggest that you don't always have to put in a deadline, and you sure don't. The benefit to putting in a deadline is that it'll show up on their calendar. So students have a home page like this with all their courses. They can go and they can see, oh shoot, I've got that paper due May 3rd. Oh, wait a minute, I've got these letters due. They're due on Friday. And so if you put in that deadline, then my students can go and they can see all of the stuff that is due, and they can click on it this way. So this is a way for a student to manage, the different assignments. And remember when I told you, like, I couldn't find where those descriptions were showing up? Here's a place where they are. So they can see that description. Remember, I didn't display it on this screen. I just wrote it in that assignment. When they click to open the assignment, it opens. Or if they click on the calendar, you can see it opens this way. And so they can look at these and then they can go straight to the activity from their calendar. You see, I'm not even in my course. Here's my breadcrumb trail, right? I'm in my home and I'm looking at my calendar. So I do like to usually set a deadline. I just don't close it. So I did want to show you that. And so let's go back to the class where we're playing. Where is my class where we're playing? So here, right, I made Talk Abroad do. So if I go to, that's our PowerPoint, sorry, here's my Talk Abroad response that they have to edit. Clicked too fast, excuse me. So we go to edit. I want to edit the settings. That's what you were seeing on the calendar, right? Here's that description. It doesn't show on the course page, but they can see it in the calendar. They can see it when they open the assignment, right? And here is what I usually do, right? There is a due date. I like to keep one in there because then it shows up on the calendar. You can take it out, then it's not on the calendar. Now it shows up on the calendar for them, but I do not put a cutoff date because then for all those late people that are turning it in at 12:01, they're not cut off. So now the other thing we talked about is, if you remember, my students were under the student view. So this is my view. I'm going to switch my role to student. Before I fixed it, here's where the highlight is. Before, the students were seeing things horizontally instead of vertically. So I've been reading up and there's lots of debates. Do you show the students everything? Do you hide all of these? You can hide them, you can show them. Most of the online forums were saying students these days want to see it all. Sometimes they liked something from a previous week, they'd like to go back to it. We all know that they need extensions and they, are doing things late. And so the best practices that I was reading were let them see everything. But we can manage how they see it. So first of all, if I need, I gotta turn on my editing. If I need all of these topics and I just haven't filled them yet, you can hide them, right? So I can hide these. Maybe I say, oh, I really don't need 14. I can delete 11. It's going to renumber them for me, you see. So you can hide any that you want, but the students will see that something is not available. Now, if you want them to focus so that they just see that 1 week, I don't know how I did it by accident last time, but here's how you fix it or set that up on purpose. Go to Edit Settings, right? And then down here, course appearance is the topic format or the weekly format, whichever you like. The hidden topics are in a collapsed form. By default, you can make them be completely invisible. But here's the one that you want to play with. So show one section per page. That's what I called that horizontal scroll, right? And so now if I go to switch my role to student, hopefully I saved that. You see I have just the little summary. There's 2 URLs here. I've done 1 out of 2 things. There's 1 file, there's 2 assignments, and this week I've done 2 out of 3. And then I click, and then it opens up just this 1 week, the details for just this one topic. And then I say, oh, okay, I'll complete this. And then I can click to go to topic 2. You can see you can go back and forth. It focuses your students on just one thing at a time. That general course content is always there, and then they just see one thing at a time. They don't see the online resources with this one in that blue box, right? But it focuses where you want them to go. And if they go back to just this overall page, right, it just gives them this summary of what's in each of those areas. Here's where I said, by the way, I hid these topics. The students see, oh, there's 4 more topics coming, but they're not available to me yet. If you don't like this view, right, return to my normal role. I'm going to edit the settings. Maybe I'm going back to course format. Maybe I don't want them to even see that there's other sections there. I'm not even ready for that. But I want them to see everything on their page. So I'm going to hit Save and Display. I'm going to go switch my role again. What does it look like for those students? And so now here they have my course. They've got my blue box. They've got everything, but they don't even see that there's more topics down there. So just some different ways to tailor it. There's no right or wrong way. It just kind of depends on what you think your students might like. And they also have the ability in some different places to tailor things. So if they find that they really want to focus it, they can zoom in on a section and they can do some different things. If you really want to make these online resources something that stick, I would say that the best way that I know how to do that is to add a block. So sorry, I moved my navigation. That's not what I meant to do. But you can add some different navigation blocks. And then that's a place that you could kind of harness content if you chose to go with the one view. So we can talk about that when we meet later today, and you can see if that's something that you like or not. You can move these things around. You can, play with what shows up on your Moodle page. Do you want the calendar to show up automatically? Do you want, these different things? I picked that clean one so that it doesn't have a lot of that stuff, but there's lots of different formats. There's lots of different themes, and then there's these different boxes that you can add to change how things look too. So I'm gonna just check. I think if we look at our parking lot section, Oops, I've got a lot of windows here. Make a blue box, fix what we did, and grade books. We're good. My dogs are barking. Time to go. Have a good day.